Is there hesitation in not being clear with WCAG standards just because it will get messy? Like if they just suddenly declare WCAG 2.0 for these websites, now they have to enforce it, now they have all these new cases coming in.
Yeah, one of the tricky things with the ADA is that the only real enforcement built into it is lawsuits. So if a disabled person is unable to access a service, they have the right to file a lawsuit. There's no other enforcement. Like, you're not going to get a ticket from the government, right, saying you have to pay a fine if your website isn't accessible. That's just, it's not how that law is enforced. And so it's all about which lawsuits get through and which lawsuits are successful and how those decisions are made and how the precedent gets set.
So by leaving it muddy, they have less lawsuits,
The
basically.
The part of it that's muddy is that it says that the law applies to, it is like a quote from the law, is places of public accommodation. So a shop that's open to the general public is a place of public accommodation. And that's not under question. Like that's been decided over and over again in lawsuits. The question is a website a place of public accommodation? And there have been decisions that say yes, it is. And there have been decisions that say no, they are not at different levels of the courts, right? Because, of course, we have many levels of federal courts. But we're waiting for the Supreme Court to make a decision that says either yes, they are or no, they aren't before we actually know for sure.
But if they eventually do add that, it would fall under ADA still.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
They just have to make clarifications.
They need to make some clarifications, yes. And unfortunately, the way things work right now, those clarifications are getting made by lawsuit decisions, which is a little messy.
You know what I just realized?
What?
The internet doesn't have police.
No, it sure doesn't. It doesn't have borders. It doesn't have police. It's the wild, wild west out here. Look at, we'll let anybody have a podcast.
Yes. Yeah, so like if a website is not accessible, they can't just get a ticket. There's no little police flagging you down.
No,
Pull over. Pull over.
no. Yeah. And there's no, right? Like you put up a website, anybody in the world can get to it. So, like, what country's laws apply to it? You don't need to go get a license or a permit to have a website. Anybody can set up a website.
That's an interesting problem because aside from lawsuits, what other ways could you really enforce that?